The greatest theft in the history of the conquered was not the land, nor the gold, nor the labor. It was the theft of integration. The deceivers played a masterstroke. They separated the mundane from the spiritual. They told us that politics, economics, and law were earthly matters, while God was a Sunday affair, confined to a book and a stone building. By severing the connection between our daily bread and our divine obligation, they left a void. And into that void, they inserted their own culture, their own ancestors, and their own laws, disguised as civilization. But a more apt name for it is deception. When Isaiah Shembe first engaged with the missionaries, he did not find a living faith. He found a dead vessel. He heard a living voice within him, a voice of fire and frequency, and realized it could not be carried in a container that required him to kill his own soul to enter. 1. The African way. Historically, there was no word for religion in many African languages because there was no part of life where the spirit was absent. As we explored in our previous session, the absence of a specific label for religion was never an absence of faith. Rather, it was the ultimate expression of it. To the African, faith was not a compartment of life. It was the very atmosphere in which life was lived. 2. The integration. Shembe did not just build a church. He restored a lifestyle. He taught that how you plow a field, how you treat a neighbor, and how you conduct the affairs of the nation are all religious acts. 3. The warning. Take care in reading the scriptures, he warned, lest you be deceived into worshiping your enemies. He saw that the written word, when stripped of African cultural orientation, becomes a leash rather than a map. The three major global religions are littered with cultural laws. This is natural, for all are rooted in the wellspring of African spiritual practices. However, a predatory condition was set for the African. To be saved, you must sever ties with your culture. This created a dead Christianity. The African was given the husk, the moralizing rules, while the deceivers kept the seed, the cultural power. This is why we see populations following a version of faith that lacks the power to liberate them economically or politically. They are trying to breathe life into a vessel designed to remain empty. The Great Reclamation is not an academic debate about whether we had religion before the deceiver. To argue that is to play their game on their turf. We are not seeking a new religion. We are seeking the Father's house, that inexhaustible abundance that lives within the ancestral DNA. We are reclaiming the universal altar. This is done by aligning our written word with our ancestral frequency. When the culture is the battery, the religion has light. Without the battery, the bulb is just cold glass. Sovereignty is not a document signed by a politician. It is a practice. It is the refusal to separate your spirit from your purse, your culture from your ballot, and your ancestors from your future. We move now beyond the book. We return to the original way of life, where every breath is a prayer and every action is an act of cultural defiance. We are not coming back to a religion. We are coming back to ourselves. This concludes the Great Reclamation series. If you have missed any of the previous installments, I encourage you to visit my profile and catch up on the journey thus far. Looking ahead, we are preparing for a profound new exploration, a series dedicated to the remarkable correspondences between pivotal moments in South African and global history and the life of Isaiah Shembe. We will trace the celestial and terrestrial synchronicity of the Zulu prophet beginning this Monday. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. If this message, or the mission of this channel in general, has resonated with your spirit, I invite you to support our growth. Unfortunately, transformative insights like these are often overlooked by the algorithms that govern our digital spaces. You can help us bridge that gap by reposting our videos, liking, and following. Your engagement is the fuel that allows these ancestral truths to reach the people who need them most. Stay tuned for Monday's awakening. I am the biological altar.